Okay, so here we are. Pee-Pee, come and say hello. Pee-Pee. Oh, good boy. Okay, hi Ian and Sue. Actually, it's quite funny. I did this morning and I finished, well, I thought I'd finished. I looked at the camera and I hadn't recorded anything, so we start again. Yeah, I just had some ideas that I might want to share with you about what you're doing with your garden and your veggies and your trees. There's many things I can show you, but the first thing is this that came to mind. Maybe for your trees you could get some of these, because by the time you put mulch, these are concrete pipes, so about 1 metre in diameter at about almost half a metre high. You just lay them on their side, they're hollow, and you could plant a tree in there, because the ties here actually grow all of their, this is a lime tree, grow all of their lime trees in these. Not this particular lime, because these are actually more like a tree, so they grow upwards, but more like this lime here. And these, even though you can't see it now, I've actually trimmed the lower branches because they tend to hang down, and that's why they grow them, I think, them in those tubs. Yeah, that's just an idea. So lime, if you're thinking of growing lime trees, they're fantastic. They're prolific. You can see the fruit here. This one's a couple of years old. Yeah, they're great. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lime trees actually. Okay, so let's just do a bit of a whiz around. This is the ground cover, which I don't mow. I allow it to. Well, I start again. I do mow it, but only once or twice in the whole wet season. All of this greenery here is actually edible, raw edible greens. So you can eat these as they are, or you can cook with them. And I leave these deliberately because in a month or two, when winter's really with us, and then the following months of summer, all this will die back. But what it does, it actually puts a lot of nutrient into the ground. And I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and the difference in the soil is absolutely amazing. This ground, this whole area, was actually filled with landfill. Pom did it to cover all the weeds that was here before I came. But now, so it was red soil, but now look at it. It's black. Actually really rich nutrient. So that might help you if you don't mind the grass growing and the weeds growing. That will actually really enrich the ground and will make it better for everything to grow. Okay, so this is a mandarin tree. This is about 6 months old. Doing very well, all these lovely new green shoots. This is a Japoticaba here. This is about 2, 3 months old. I bought it. These are all grafted trees, and you can see the mulch. Right, this is from the straw left over from when they harvest the rice. This is another one of the lime trees, similar to the one I first showed you over there. These are taller, and these ones actually, if you think about getting limes, these ones have limes about the size of grapefruit, and they're really, really lovely. This one hasn't flowered yet because it's only probably about 8 or 9 months old, but it's just taken off. It's done really, really well. This is another fruit tree, but they call it falung. It's more like a green apple by the time it's finished. This is just a young one here. Has a most beautiful white flower. And even though these two are a bit close, I try to keep the spacing between all the trees at about 1 to 2 metres. Okay, by the time they mature and spread out, these will still be too close, but I wanted to get as many trees in as I could. This one's new, but it's not looking so good. The leaves have all come off, so we'll just wait and see. I don't know which one this was. I'll have to go back and have a look. This one is wait for it, cashew nut tree, which I've had for a few years and had a few challenges on how to grow it, but at last, thank goodness, now that I've had netting on it and the insects are away, it's taking off. Some lovely new shoots there, and I think that'll be fine. This is a coconut tree. Here I've planted a lot of these are the suckers from bananas. There's about 5 of them in a line there. So these have been in a month and a half, 2 months, so they're all just beginning to really take off. And there's rows of bananas around the edge of the property here. This is a mango tree that's been struggling for a bit, but it looks as though it might be coming good now. This is a custard apple tree. We've got 5 custard apple trees, would you believe? Okay, so with bananas, if you decide to get some bananas, the idea is to have 3, no more than 3. So this is the parent, this is one of the suckers, and here's another young sucker coming up. So by the time the parent has fruit, I'll chop it down and die when that finishes, then this next one will take off, then this sucker will come up, and then this sucker ultimately will then throw more suckers. So there'll always be a group of 3. Any more than 3, they say, is not a good idea, so cut the 4th or the 5th one out and transplant it. So this one is kind of on the verge of being a little bit too much. There's 4 of them in a group here, but if I cut this one out, because there's a little bit of slope, this might fall, and I don't want that to topple over before it flowers. Here at the moment, there's only one that's got fruit, and there it is there. As soon as the flower, these little fingerlings, as soon as these stop forming and you just get flower after flower after flower, you cut the whole flower off and then you can steam that. It's really nice actually, the banana flowers. Okay, so this area is about 70 metres by 40, and I kind of wanted to create a bit of a food forest. So this is a star fruit. Here you can see all the fruit ripening, and they'll fall. As you can see, some of them have fallen already. So they're ripe. The good ones I'll take inside. I'll put them in the freezer. When we have smoothies, I'll just throw them in there. This is another custard apple tree here, and below it I've planted some of the raw greens that we eat, and I found it's actually better. I did have in this area here traditional veggies. This is an old chook pen actually that I pulled down, so there's a lot of nitrogen in the ground. This is another, this is a pygmy coconut tree, so it'll get about 4 metres high maximum, and it'll have a heap of coconuts down near the base. So the reason I'm not growing traditional veggies now is that there's so many insects around and there's so much maintenance, and instead of going to all that effort, which has been fun, now I just keep it really simple, and all these here are edible. It's all the one type actually, but that'll all die back, but when it does, here's some turmeric and ginger. Here's another green. This is really nice. This is just great, and because they're natives, they tend not to be savaged by insects. They're quite hardy, and this is just lovely to put in any type of salad or smoothie. Here, and I would recommend, you probably already got it, but spinach. This is the remnants of the vine. Anne's actually got it, Ceylon spinach. I got this from Anne. I gave Anne the original seeds from Belbonia when I was living there. So these seeds will all fall, and this will come up next year. Over here, so this is a mulberry tree, and this is the way to prune them. This is the kind of shape you want to get, and you can see it's had multiple prunings here, and I keep it all at the same height. All at the same height. There's my hand, and this is the pruned bits, and I'll leave them on the ground. They will all decompose back into the earth, and then the stalks I'll just put in a pile somewhere. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, this mulberry here, this doesn't fruit for some reason, so I'm going to cut it out, but I've pruned it back recently as well. This is the Unchan flower in here. It's purple. Okay, this we use as a herbal drink, and it's just a very simple vine that grows on anything. Over here I've got, what is this? This is it's not jackfruit. Let me think of it. What is the red fruit? Oh God, my memory's going. Anyway, here we are, whatever it is going to grow up this tree, okay, which is an old dead tamarind tree that I ring barked, and this was actually where the passion fruit vine was, growing right up here, but the squirrels got into it. I put each fruit inside a plastic bag, but they worked out once they ate through the plastic, there was goodies inside. So with the passion fruit vine now, I can still put more trees in here actually. I just love planting things. There's another mandarin tree. This is another custard apple tree. This is the passion fruit vine. So this trellis is just a frame, steel frame with some plastic mesh across it. It's about 2 metres high and 1 metre wide, but I've been tipping. I haven't been allowing the shoots to grow. I just tip them off, and they're beautiful to eat. So it's flowering, so my hope is that this will continue to have shoots, which I can tip and eat, but it'll continue to flower. So instead of having a great big long vine that the squirrels can get into, I'm kind of containing it in this small area, and it's easily managed. Okay, so we try. Something's been eating that one. Here's some more bananas. I've got about 20 bananas in. I'll just show you from around here. So they're all coming on nicely. We got those from a friend because most of this area is pretty much all rural. This is a young mango tree, a couple of years old. That one's successful. I have lost a couple of mango trees actually. So this one is one of the suckers that I planted with all the others, but this has got 5 suckers coming up. It's amazing. I've never seen so many around one young banana tree. So this will get to the point of having 3, and I'll cut the other ones out so we keep that ratio together. So in another 12 months or so, I'll have good hands of bananas on these. There's another young one I planted. These are a couple of metres apart. Sometimes they're a bit closer. So I guess the main thing was just to show you the area and the trees, the mulch, of course, that I use. I also use, for fertiliser, I use chicken poo we get from the farm, the egg farm down the road. So these are the unchun flowers that I showed you before. These are drying in the sun. It's starting to rain, so I'll put them inside. And these would dry out, make a lovely tea, and it also forms a herbal drink. But I wanted to show you this other raw green here. This started off with just stalks in the pot plant. And this is probably 80% of the greens I eat come from this plant. It's amazing. It just keeps. So this is obviously, this doesn't get affected by insects. Nothing touches it for some reason, I'm not quite sure. So it's so easy. So I don't have a traditional veggie garden that has traditional veggies. I just use what grows wild, and because these all come from the Thai villages, so this is what they live on. Here's another one, a raw green. Either eat it raw or cook it. More there. So it's so easy. So I just walk outside and I've got my greens. I mean, I've had corn, I've had tomatoes, I've tried to grow beans and pumpkin and snow peas, but the insects, the ants here just get them. As soon as the flower comes, the ants go and eat the flowers off. So I thought, well, that's okay. This is another star fruit. This is a prolific producer of fruit. It's just finished producing now. The flowers are back, and there's little fruit appearing again. You see them there? So there's another fruit tree. This is the one that I used the mixture of garlic and chili on as a paste, and then diluted it with water and sprayed it on, and that kept all the insects away. This time of year it doesn't appear as though, these are all new shoots, it doesn't appear that the insects are here. Down the back, I just want to show you again, I accept the fact that there's going to be carnage at different times of the year in some of the plants. There's one particular one which is my favourite, raw green, and it gets nailed. this time of year, but go back a couple of months and it was just lush and thick. So this guy, there's not much of it. It's being hammered, but this is before the insects get it. These are so sweet. So, you know, with all the indigenous foods that are becoming commonplace now, the knowledge of them, I'd be looking at planting some things like that around the place. And you might be already doing that. But anyway, this is one tree that I planted about 3.5 or 4 years ago. I put it in for shade, afternoon sun against the kitchen. There's the kitchen there. And it's a monster, and I love these trees. I've cut other trees out, you know, that just weren't working, either too big or throwing too much shade across the area. So, you know, it's a work in progress, but it's a lot of fun, okay? So I guess the main thing was just to give you an idea of what it all looks like. And probably mostly about the ground cover, how incredibly rich the ground is now in comparison to what it was when I came here. This was just all jungle. This was just absolutely overgrown to crazy. And with the house renovations, there was just junk everywhere. So when I got here, I had a fire going for a month solid, just burning all the rubbish. There's some more mulberry trees. And the good thing about mulberries, of course, is that the fruit is great. And look, this has only been cut a couple of weeks. And look, there's the young fruit forming there now. You make tea, you cut the branches, hang the branches upside down in the shade somewhere. When the leaves go crunchy, like this, there's your tea leaves. We've got so much, I just leave you on the ground now. And you can also eat the young shoots. These young shoots are really, really good in salads or just to put in general cooking, but you'd wash the bird poo off first. Okay, that's about it, I guess. This is another raw green that I put in. Nothing touches it, this one here. Beautiful, just slice it up. So there's a lot of native plants in Australia that would just lend themselves to having in your garden space, because, you know, with insects and possums and all the other bits and pieces with traditional veggies, it can be high maintenance, you know, but if you want to put the work in on it, that's, you know, it's great. I did mention comfrey actually, which is a great companion plant. Here's another lime. I mean, these just, look, they produce so many, you know. It's just crazy, they're just everywhere. So, that's it. I'll send this to you, and have any other questions, let me know. Okay, bye.